another video for you guys today. This one is another suggestion. It's a Blame It on George video, which I know you guys love seeing these videos, so might as well do more of them. So it's not too crazy though, it takes 16 minutes, just over 16 minutes. 11 lost audio clips from fascinating to terrifying. So I don't know if these just range from like any like random audio clip from anything around the world, but to be fair, I don't get what he means by lost when he has them. Like, he literally has them and he's playing them, so obviously they're not lost, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm just stupid or something. I'm probably just stupid, but it's fine. Maybe they're lost now, but they weren't before. I don't know. Or unless they were lost, but then someone found them, like traces of them. Because I assume it's not the full audio clip, it's just like parts of it. But yeah, this is going to be Blame It on George, 11 lost audio clips from fascinating to terrifying. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications. Also, subscribe to his channel and turn on post notifications as well, so you don't miss any videos that he uploads or me. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Disturbing to a younger audience.
Sometimes, it seems like there is no information that isn't available somewhere online. As the web has grown, a simple Google or YouTube search is usually enough to find nearly any media, archived article, or any important document that one could ever want. But in this video, we'll be looking at pieces of recorded audio that, for various reasons, will never see the light of day. Some are lost, some destroyed, and some are in the possession of people who just do not want them to be heard. And again, just a warning, some of these stories I'll be talking about have very disturbing details and are, as they say, not for the faint of heart. So today, we're going to take a look at 11 lost audio clips, from fascinating to terrifying. The Japanese Cannibal Tapes. In a truly bizarre case, Dutch college student Renee Hartbelt was murdered and partially eaten by a fellow student, Japanese native Issei Sagawa, in Paris in 1981.
Fuck? After
luring her to his apartment, apparently to record her reading poetry, Sagawa shot Miss Hartbelt in the back before using an electric knife to remove over 7 pounds of flesh from her body. He prepared himself several meals with this over the next few days and also shot video and audio, including of the murder itself, and took over 36 pictures. Sagawa insisted at his trial that the act had been artistic, not criminal, and that he needed to eat his victim in order to absorb her power.
Pardon me?
Predictably, this defense resulted in his institutionalization in a French mental hospital for 1 year before being transferred to Japan. Sagawa was released in 1985 and unbelievably has become somewhat of a celebrity, authoring books, appearing on talk shows, and yes, reviewing restaurants.
What the fuck? That's so messed up.
While the video and photo evidence of the crime was made public, and crime scene photos were published in Photos magazine in 1983, the cassette from Sagawa's audio recorder has never been unearthed. It may be in police custody, or just simply lost.
Oh, so they don't actually have the audio clips, it's just talking about the stories of it. I see.
As Shrek. DreamWorks Studios' animated film Shrek was a surprise hit in 2001. While star Mike Myers eventually settled on a sort of Scottish accent for the voice of the character, this was not the first interpretation. Not only had Myers partially recorded a different version with no accent, but at least 80% of all of Shrek's dialogue had been recorded previously by Chris Farley, the first actor cast in the role.
Wow.
Farley was a huge star when he was cast in 1996, coming off a successful run on late-night comedy institution Saturday Night Live,
but wasn't
as well
he
as a string of popular feature films. In the few minutes that are available from his original performance online, set to storyboards of the film's corresponding scenes, it's apparent that his performance was perfectly deadpan, essentially playing himself in the form of a big green ogre.
Farquaad said he'd give me my own swamp in exchange for the princess.
You really think you can trust that Weasley oil rag, don't you?
Yeah, right. But now I'm gonna have what he wants.
The storyboards even suggest that Shrek may have looked a bit different if Farley's performance had been used. After Chris Farley's untimely death in 1997, the role was handed to fellow SNL alumni Myers, and it of course has become one of his most beloved and recognizable roles in the years to come. Chris Farley's full performance as Shrek has never been leaked online, and likely sits undiscovered somewhere in the archives of DreamWorks. Watergate Tapes. Perhaps the most famous lost audio clip of all time, the Watergate Tapes refers to a series of taped conversations had by then President Richard Nixon with various advisors concerning the growing Watergate scandal. After a break-in at the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee, a pair of Washington Post reporters followed the story all the way to the highest office in the land. It became apparent that Nixon had ordered that break-in and the bugging of political opponents, and the scandal eventually led to Nixon's resignation, the first and only time a U.S. president has resigned.
Damn.
Nixon was in the habit of recording most of his conversations, whether in person in the Oval Office or on the phone. While over 200 hours of audio would be released to the public, much of it incriminating, one blank 18-minute section of tape has confounded the public for years and has led to endless speculation. Nixon claims the stretch of tape was erased by an assistant and has never clarified what it may have contained. While likely just more incriminating material having to do with Watergate, conspiracy theorists have posited that everything from secret deals with terrorists to plans for war with the Soviet Union may have been discussed.
Wow. I low-key really want to hear these audio clips now, but I know we're not going to because they're all lost.
Samantha Morton's performance in Her. The 2013 Spike Jonze film Her was a critically acclaimed hit. It was nominated for several Academy Awards, including Best Picture, taking home an Oscar for Best Screenplay. In it, a lonely man played by Joaquin Phoenix falls in love with an artificially intelligent operating system named Samantha, voiced by Scarlett Johansson. The character may, however, have been named for the first actress to be cast in the role, Samantha Morton. The entire film was shot with Morton's recorded dialogue, and she was even on set to help develop the chemistry between her and Phoenix. While Jones felt the performance was satisfactory, he is a notorious perfectionist and decided virtually at the last minute to recast the role with Johansson. This was done with Morton's blessing, and while rumors have abounded of portions of the film or even trailers containing Morton's performance, there are none to be found online. And since this is Spike Jonze we're talking about here, it is more than likely that the performance has been deleted.
So for some reason he didn't like the other girls, so he just recast.
An entire alternate cast recording of Hoodwinked. Similarly, the 2005 animated film Hoodwinked, a modernized update of the Little Red Riding Hood story, had last-minute changes made to its vocal performances. In a far more severe case than our previous entry, however, this wasn't just a single actor's performance that was thrown out. Virtually the entire cast, comprised largely of veteran voice actors, was replaced.
Why?
The problem, as the filmmaker saw it, wasn't the quality of the performances, but the star power of the actors. While highly regarded in the industry, voice actors are, by definition, heard and not seen. Only Patrick Warburton, the voice of Joe Swanson on Family Guy, and Andy Dick inexplicably kept their roles. The rest, including Lee Tara Strong, who has literally voiced more popular characters than we have time to recount here, were replaced with more high-profile celebrities, with the lead going to Anne Hathaway. While perhaps rightly seen by some as a shady move, the gambit seemed to work. Hoodwinked was a significant box office success, despite middling reviews and the fact that it's, well, not very good.
So I just got a bunch of new voice actors to get the ratings up and all that.
Leslie Ann Downey. Ian Brady and Myra Hindley, dubbed the Morris Murderers by British media, perpetrated one of the most horrifying crimes of the 20th century in 1964.
That's fucked.
The couple lured 10-year-old Leslie Ann Downey from a fairground to their home, where she was to be tortured, sexually assaulted, and even murdered. In addition to 9 obscene photographs taken by Brady, a 13-minute audio tape was recovered by law enforcement, which was eventually played for stunned spectators at the couple's criminal trial.
Oh my god.
In it, the little girl repeatedly begs to be released, as she is being tied up in advance of the first sexual assault. In this case, it is known exactly where the tape is, in the custody of the British courts, who have made it clear that they have no intention of ever releasing it. A transcript of the tape made by a court stenographer does exist, and was published in a book about the trial in 1986.
Wow. So you can't hear the actual audio, but you can actually like read the text of it. It's kind of
Bits
not
of
cool,
Princess
but it's kind of
Anna
like it's
and
not really
The
lost
Nightmare
though.
Before Christmas.
The audio is lost, but you can read it at least.
Producer Tim Burton's stop-motion 1993 masterpiece, The Nightmare Before Christmas, has become an enduring, if somewhat unlikely, holiday classic. Featuring a brilliant Danny Elfman score and excellent lead voice work by Chris Sarandon and Catherine O'Hara, the film's cross-pollination of Halloween and Christmas tropes and imagery gave it a unique blend of fright and whimsy. In this vein, one particularly brilliant piece of casting was made, which, unfortunately, was not meant to be. Character actor Edward Ivory portrayed Santa Claus in the final version of the film, but the role originally went to none other than horror icon Vincent Price. The man is known for his distinct voice in horror media, and it would have definitely given the jovial Santa a more creepy vibe. At the time, Price was in declining health after the recent death of his wife. His once formidable voice was a shadow of its former self, and the vocal tracks that he recorded for the film were deemed unusable, to the deep regret of director Henry Selick. While acknowledged by the production company, the recordings have never been heard in any public forum, and it's unknown whether they still exist. Captain Killdozer's Manifesto. In June of 2004, international headlines were made when a Colorado man unveiled a project that he had been working on for about a year and a half. Not a backyard deck or a treehouse, but a fully armored, steel and concrete reinforced Komatsu bulldozer, with which he intended to cause as much chaos as possible.
Oh my god.
The man's name was Marvin Heemeyer.
Why?
But Colorado residents tend to refer him as Captain Killdozer.
It makes sense.
Heemeyer's rampage was the result of a zoning dispute with the city of Granby, and among the sites he targeted for demolition were the house of the former mayor and Granby's town hall.
Holy
He
shit.
had initially purchased the bulldozer in an attempt to resolve the dispute by creating an alternate route to his muffler shop. The last
this looks like
compromise in a
GTA.
long line of them that were rejected by the city. When that failed, he came up with a different plan for his purchase.
Like, how is that even gonna be
Heemeyer
stopped?
destroyed 13 buildings, all connected in some way to his dispute,
Holy
and
shit.
caused over $7 million in damage in just over 2 hours. When the bulldozer became stuck in a basement, he shot himself in the head, committing suicide. Shortly before the rampage, he had mailed over 2 hours of audio tapes to his brother in South Dakota, outlining his plan and motives. The brother turned the tapes over to the FBI, who eventually returned them to the Grand County Sheriff's Office, which is where they essentially disappeared. The Sheriff's Office claims that they've been released, but they're nowhere to be found.
I really want to hear them actually, just to like see what the fuck his issue was.
The original voice actor in the Spider-Man video game. Sam Raimi's 2002 film Spider-Man had the effect of making what was already an extremely hot property even hotter. The film destroyed box office records on its opening weekend, and single-handedly proved the viability of the emerging superhero film genre. Among fans of comic books, animated films, and video games, Spidey had long been an icon, with Activision's 2000 game being a top seller on the PC and PlayStation platforms. And to especially those fans who had loved this game, Spider-Man was Josh Keaton. Josh Keaton had voiced Peter Parker in the critically acclaimed animated series The Spectacular Spider-Man, as well as previous games and other media, and would go on to continue voicing the character for years afterward, except for the tie-in game to Raimi's film.
I remember watching the
After already
Spider-Man
recording
movies
all
with
the
like
dialogue, Keaton was
Peter
replaced when actor Tobey
Parker. Damn, I
Maguire,
haven't heard that
who
name in
played
so long.
Spider-Man in the movie,
That's the
became
guy.
available to do voiceover work.
I remember that guy. Damn.
While Keaton's original audio is lost forever, snatches of it survived in an unlockable version of the game. Keaton was recast as Harry Osborn, and in this version, players can play as Harry as the Green Goblin, which is a little odd since Harry's father Norman was the Green Goblin in the film.
Interesting.
The Biotron Sound Library. With the advent of synthesizers in the late 1960s and early 70s, the soundscape of popular music was changed forever. Many earlier machines boasted a mix of analog and digital technology, such as the Mellotron, which used pre-recorded tape loops to produce its sounds. A similar unit was the Biotron, produced as a low-cost alternative to the Mellotron units, which were prohibitively expensive for all but major recording studios. Unlike the Mellotron, which used standard tapes that could only sustain a note for a maximum of 8 seconds, the Biotron used 8 track tapes, which allowed for a looped song to be sustained indefinitely. Dozens of popular artists, from Elton John to Led Zeppelin, have used the Biotron unit in recordings, and an entire library of sounds was created. One set, based on a church organ, was actually recorded by legendary keyboardist for the band Yes, Rick Wakeman. Today, the Biotron is considered to be one of the rarest keyboards in existence.
Biotron.
Less than 50 units were made, and of the few that still exist, many are no longer functional. It is believed that no single unit exists without an undamaged, fully functional sound library.
That sucks. That's basically a piano, is it not? Or is it just like something that, I don't know, I'm not listening apparently. But that was just like a piano.
Treadwell was an environmentalist and documentary filmmaker who had spent 13 summers in Katmai National Park studying grizzly bears. A noted bear enthusiast, he was the founder of Grizzly People, an organization devoted to protecting
I don't see this ending well.
which makes this all even more disturbing.
Eaten by grizzly bear?
In October of 2003, Treadwell and his girlfriend experienced their final bear encounter in the same national park where Treadwell had spent so many months. As their video camera rolled, the couple was attacked and killed by a 28-year-old brown bear, which then proceeded to partially eat their remains. Fortunately, the lens cap was still on the camera at the time, but this did not prevent it from recording audio of the event with perfect clarity. The tape and the camera were given to Treadwell's ex-girlfriend, who has said she has never listened to it and never will.
Holy shit.
Acclaimed filmmaker Werner Herzog produced a well-received documentary about Treadwell in 2005 entitled Grizzly Man. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook. Don't forget to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter for everything like news and updates regarding my channel. And of course, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like down below and subscribe for more.
That was a good video. Honestly, I do like Blaming on George's videos. It just like I just easily get so sleepy and all that, and then I just get like really, it's hard for me to like focus and all that. So it's not that I'm not interested, it's just that it's really hard for me to focus. So anyways, with that being said, yeah, that was honestly a good video. Like honestly, like really creepy, because like imagine being able to hear the audio of those things. Like some of them were just kind of like lost, like original tapes, for example, of like TV shows, the original voice actors, and then it's just missing, which isn't that big of a deal. It sucks, I guess, but it's not like crazy, oh my god, it's crazy, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, whatever, who cares, I guess, in that sense, whatever, I don't really care. But in terms of like the grizzly bear, like imagine getting eaten by a grizzly bear and just hearing it happen, ugh. Or the audio of that girl getting abducted, like, fuck, that's just all like really chilling. Which again, it did say fascinating to terrifying, you know what I mean? So I guess I probably should have remembered that, but I totally forgot about that part, so that was my bad. But yikes. If you guys did enjoy that video, be sure to give it a like. If you guys have any more Blame It on George suggestions, please let me know, and I'll try to react to it within a few months. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and Blame It on George's channel as well, and be sure to turn on post notifications for both of our channels. And yeah, I know majority of you guys are not subs, so please subscribe if you like my channel. And yeah, that's that. But yes, I will see you guys later on, and I'll see you guys later on. But yeah, honestly, like lost audio and like lost footage is like always interesting. Or if it's like fully lost, almost fully lost, but there's still like 5% that remains, you know what I mean? It's kind of like just being able to listen to it would be kind of cool. Not saying that I would want to listen to a girl begging for her life, or because that would just be terrifying and sad, because then like, you know, like you know what the outcome was. And then the whole grizzly bear thing, I could just imagine screams and getting eaten too, like basically getting eaten alive in a sense. Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, that's why I don't do that. But, you know, I guess he wanted to die, so that's what happened. That was basically a death wish waiting to happen. So, anyway guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Deuces. Peace.